Hey everyone, Rock DIY here. What I'm going to discuss today is the issue that apparently quite a few people have been having with the Aquasana system, specifically the reactor with the quartz sleeve. I'll try to do my best to explain what to do when you accidentally, unintentionally break your quartz sleeve inside the reactor. Where it could be important, you have a choice as to whether you put a bypass on your system or not. And in the case if you break your quartz sleeve, it is good to have a bypass, but it depends on how your bypass is set up. So in my case, if I was to break my quartz sleeve, I could put the bypass on. The water will continue to go to the house while I deal with the issue with the quartz sleeve, because unfortunately, I'm sure many people with this system probably aren't going to keep any extra quartz sleeves or UV lights on hand. So in retrospect, if this ever happens to you, it's probably a good idea to have one or both of those on hand. And before I forget, I'm going to point this out. This is called the gland nut, and when you tighten this, it will stop where it's supposed to stop, and it's only supposed to be done by hand. Do not use a pair of pliers, pipe wrench, or anything to tighten it down. Just hand tighten it and leave it like that. If you try to go any further, you will crack the quartz sleeve. Now let's just say that you broke the quartz sleeve inside the reactor. So you're going, in my case, I'll turn my water off over here. I will also turn off the water on my water heater so the hot water doesn't backflow. I will turn the bypasses on just to turn them on, just in case during the process the water gets turned on for some reason. Because if I turn the water off, there may be pressure, water still in the system. So you just want to be careful of that. You do want to make sure that you relieve the pressure in the system. On the pre and post filters, they have these little screws that are supposed to be for relieving pressure, and the only thing that I've seen them relieve is water. So be careful if you use those, because water will come out. What I've found is that if I go upstairs, or if there's a faucet downstairs and I open up the faucet and relieve the pressure, there will be no pressure in the reactor. Get whatever water's in the system out of your faucets, and then it should help you with this. But don't be surprised when you go to take this off that some water will come out. With the water off, then you want to make sure you disconnect this. Make sure there's no power going to your UV lamp. Then what you're going to do is you're going to remove your grounding strap. You're going to turn this to unlock it, take it off. And so, like I was saying, you push it in, turn it. Now, if you don't take the grounding strap off, that's about as far as you're going to be able to go, and you're not going to be able to get the lamp off. Well, technically you can get the lamp off, but you're going to have to jimmy it to get this piece disconnected from this piece. You can see that the UV lamp is in fact on. So once the power is off, you're going to take your grounding strap off here, and then you're going to turn this to release the UV light. And then, because the grounding strap is off, you'll be able to pull the lamp completely out, get it out of the way, make sure you put it somewhere where it's not going to break. And then what you're going to do is you're going to release or loosen this gland nut. When you do that, the quartz sleeve that has a washer on it will be in there. And then what you're going to do is pull it up carefully. And, well, sometimes the quartz sleeves don't break completely. So in this case, I've gotten to the point where you discover that either your quartz sleeve is completely broke or partially broke. And in this case, this is where you got to decide what you're going to do from here. You can call a plumber, or you can attempt to do this on your own. But if it's broken inside here and you can see that it's still kind of together, you can use, I've done it with a coat hanger with a slight little hook on the end of it that fits inside the quartz sleeve, and then you wrap paper towel around it and you stuff it down inside the what's remaining of the quartz sleeve, and then sometimes it can be tight enough to where it'll allow you to pull the remainder of the quartz sleeve out. But unfortunately, there could be pieces of quartz sleeve still inside the reactor. So if you get to that point where you know now that there are broken pieces inside your reactor, and if this was put together properly, you will find out that right here you can disconnect, right here you can disconnect. There's only pipe tape here. There's glue, but there's no glue here, and then there's no glue, just pipe tape. You'll be able to loosen that up, and then here you've got a brass fitting, a PVC threaded pipe, male, and then you got a female. So you'll be able to loosen this up to get the reactor off. Then you've got these lockdowns that you'll loosen and take this portion out. And then what you'll do is get yourself a bucket, put the reactor in the bucket, get a hose, and flush out the reactor with the hose. And you want to do this really well. Pay specific attention to what the bottom of the quartz sleeve looks like, because the bottom of the quartz sleeve actually goes inside a clamp at the bottom of the reactor down here. So that piece could still be in there and you may miss it. Try to put a new one in and find out that it won't go in properly. The thing is, if you do discover that there's just a small portion of the bottom stuck down there, you may have to find something that you can break it with without causing damage to the rest of the reactor, and then flush it out once again. You do want to be sure that you rinse this out really good, because keep in mind, water is going through here and going into your system, which means if there's broken glass in there, that broken glass is going to go into your system as well. May not necessarily harm you, but it could clog up your system somewhere along the line, depending on the size of the broken quartz sleeve. So that is how you would recover from this problem.